My name's Captain Billy Pettigrew. True Florida cracker, born and raised Daytona. Lived in Ormond most of my life. Live in Port Orange now. Now I'm gonna teach you a trick. So this is called the BSR, Billy's Special Rig. This is what you do on rainy days and you're tinkering. So everybody's seen the gulp shrimp. Everybody throws the gulp shrimp, right? Or has, or whatever. Now a lot of people, what they'll do is so they can cast it further, they take the tail and bite it off. You don't need to do that. Now what you need for a 3-inch gulp shrimp is a 3/0 EWG hook. So you're gonna take this bait, get it to where it just goes in, you're gonna come right out. You're gonna take that hook, everybody can see what I'm doing, all right? Come out, and then you're gonna push it through and you're gonna rotate. So it sits like this. See how that bait's sitting right now? It's not completely hooked up, but it's sitting right there. All right, and then you're gonna see where this bait lays on the hook. And you're gonna come back through and get it on there. So, you're fishing, and it's high tide. Well, you can use this at high tide, low tide, it doesn't matter. This bait right here, with it being weedless, you see the fish in the grass. Well, guess what? Throw it right in the grass. So the reason I do this, and like I said, rainy days, can't really fish, I tinker. I've made homemade cut bait out of artificial. Don't believe me? Ask Jimmy. Jimmy Britton knows all about my homemade artificial bait that was cut. Yeah. Took a big swim bait, cut it, put a hole in it, goobed it up with some, what was it? It was some type of sauce and it even took a red marker and highlighted the area I cut so it looked like blood, yeah. Welcome to Finicky Fish in Tampa. I'm gonna figure something out. This bait, if you ever look at a bait, most of the baits in the water, all their weight's in their head. Well, same with a lot of artificial baits, especially gulp. So by hooking it like this, it's like throwing a dart. So when you cast it, all the weight is in the front and it's pushing away from you. So it's not like it's fighting it, it's literally going that way and it's pulling your line with it. Leaving the tail on it allows it to swim naturally, as a gulp can be. True shrimp, they kind of hop in whatever. This will hit the water and it'll actually try to swim away from you with the current. So it'll swim down, and then when you hop it, it'll hop up, and then it'll do it again. It'll glide right back down. Everybody's seen the video of the DOA shrimp, where it hits the water and it glides down. Well, the problem with the DOA shrimp is you gotta hook it in the head. Well, if you're fishing with the current coming at you, it makes more sense. But if you're fishing with the current going away from you, a shrimp doesn't fight the current. It normally goes with the current. I'm not saying it won't try to fight the current, but natural bait goes with the current. So being able to hook your gulp shrimp like this, it'll actually make it look natural swimming with the current away from you. Now I will say this, you can do the exact same trick on a DOA shrimp. A lot harder to rig because you got a lot less plastic in the tail to work with. All right? All right, so that's the basic beautiful day, perfect scenario. Now, if y'all like me, I don't work unless it's blowing 100 mile an hour, cloudy, rainy, windy. Like I've got a rule on my boat. There's 2 4-letter words I don't use, RAIN and WIND. All other 4-letter words are fair game. But if you get those days where it is cloudy, rainy, windy, my 3 go-to baits are swim bait with an underspin. All right? It's called the Flashy Swimmer. Owner makes it. And they make these anywhere from a 1/0 hook to, I believe they go up to a 7/0 on the Beast. But I normally fish 3, 4, or 5. This is a 5/0, which I'll put on a 4 to 5 inch bait. 3/0, 3-inch bait. Kind of see where I'm at with that. 4/0, 4-inch bait. And the other thing you can do is they also make it, silver, and then they got gold. On cloudy days, I like gold. I'm a gold guy. Problem is they don't make gold and willow leaf that you can buy on this bait. I'm not saying you can't buy gold willow leaves and swap it out, because that's what I do. So I'll take this one, and I'll take the same size gold little willow leaf and swap it out. So I'll put a gold one on instead of a silver. Now, if the water's dingy, but it's sunny, then I'll stick to silver. But on cloudy days, I like gold. And you're gonna see this here shortly. Here's another bait a lot of people don't throw. Chatterbait. Chatterbait on a nasty day works wonders. Pretty weedless, bounce it off of oyster bars, around grass. Can use it anywhere from Mosquito Lagoon to Jacksonville. Over on the West Coast, in Steenhatchee, over in Crystal River, and everything works in Louisiana, so we just don't even worry about that. The color selection, I try to stick natural. This is just one I actually happen to have. I kind of go to like a pinfish or a mullet pattern is normally what I go with, but I'm gonna always have that gold blade. Don't know what it is about redfish and gold. They like it. And if gold doesn't work, a black spoon will. It's one of those that you can actually see this thing's been chewed up quite a bit. I like to use this if they're shying away from gold, because a lot of people do throw gold. Black is not another color to be afraid of to throw. Even throwing a black solid topwater, don't be afraid to do it, it'll work. So that's my kind of cloudy water. Go ahead there, sir.
Do you put swivels on your spoons?
Yes, I do, 100%. I hate line twist, I hate wind knots. But I will put the smallest swivel I can find to put on my spoon. I don't want a big spoon, a swivel that big on top of my spoon. It just doesn't look natural. You know, the smaller the better. If I can find a smaller swivel than what I got on here now, I will put it on there. You don't need a 300-pound swivel. You need a 20-pound swivel, 10-pound swivel. You know, because I mean, you got to realize that your drag on your reel, if it's a 28-pound drag and you got it locked, it's still going to take 28 pounds of pressure to break something. So if that's the case and you keep your drag locked, then you might want to go to a 30-pound swivel, because then you can't break the swivel with the drag. Anybody got questions about anything? Because I can ramble on forever.
What size flashy swimmer do you like the best?
3 or 5. Just overall 3 or 5. Because people that throw like saltwater assassins, 3/0 works great on them. Now when you get to the dye dappers, then you go to the 5. You know, just kind of, it just depends on where you're at with it.
Range where you're switching the size of your baits.
I don't let water temp really control what I switch the size of the bait. I let the size of the bait that I see control on what I switch. So, I mean, water temp can be 50 degrees, but all the bait in the water is that big. Well, guess what they're eating? They're eating bait that big. I mean, now, this time of year, on average, most of the bait's this big. On average. So you want to throw the smaller stuff, and you watch it, you know, as it grows. And I'll push it a little bit. Like if there's, all I see is something like this, then I might go up a size just to see if they're going to react to it different, because it's something different that sticks out. But I'm not going to go to this and then throw a bait that's like this. It's just, no. I mean, I might go up a couple sizes just so it sticks out a little bit more. That's why I throw like the bone or like the sea trout, because it kind of blends in a little bit, but it's a little bit bigger on the juniors than what the bait are this time of year. I mean, they got the pup, which I've got, and I like throwing it, but I like the junior on the spook. It's heavy enough that I can throw it quite a ways, especially on a spinning rod. So he asked if I'm fishing docks. If I'm skipping docks for redfish, I go to a jig head. Jig head's easier to control underneath the dock because I can skip it a lot easier. It gives it a little more surface for the bait to allow it to slide underneath and in the water a little better than the weighted hook. Will I throw a weighted hook? Yes. I prefer a jig head around docks.